Hello, YouTube fans. This is TheSkullKlown. I'm here to talk about Baphomet. Um, Now a lot of people wanna. There's things that I've found out more about this, and yes, there is this deity basically that you see right here is basically just a reciprocation. Sorry, I can't pronounce my words right. Uh, interpretation of what we used to be back in ancient times. Because when you think about it, this is a dragon also, all right? But little different type of dragon. Um, Most people be like, "What are you talking about?" This goes back to dark alchemy, and I'm not saying that these evil beings do not use this symbol. There's a reason. Remember, these evil beings took everything that we had and they twisted it and made it evil so everyone can stay away from it. But in reality, if you actually go to it, because we're made out of carbon and we're part of literally darkness, and darkness is not an evil thing, for crying out loud, it goes back to how you use dark alchemy. Are you going to use it for evil? It's like magic. Are you going to use it for evil or good? So beloved, so below. I mean, so above, so below. That's what it is. And every time I remember mentioning that in my old channel, and a lot of people were like, "Dude, what are you talking about? So above, so below means something else, man." And every time I mentioned it, I always meant that it meant the opposite, and and you can't have one without the other. But obviously, a lot of people didn't see it that way. But to be quite honest, that is it. That's literally what's it, because that's what it was. That's the original. You got to go back, people. You can't just think or what, and you can't just listen or what these motherfuckers say. Of course, the flat out put a statue of this thing in the Capitol. Yes, what does that tell you? But the thing is, it didn't look like this. Why? Why they didn't look androgynous? How come it didn't look like male and female? They automatically just look like a male. You see? They want you. They automatically. They might. This is the game they want to play. I've noticed this is the fucked up game they like to play. They say that this is evil, right? But yet when they show it to you live on TV, it's a male and doesn't have tits. But most people be like, "Oh, but if it had tits, people will go crazy." Maybe. But at the same time, it goes back to what we were in ancient times. Colored people are Anunnaki, Nomos. We're Nomos. We're dragons. We're all. And this is proof of it right here. Look, I got you guys. Look, I'll show you proof that we literally used to look like this. You see? These are ancient ancestors, man. These are the Nomos. This is what they look like. And look at this. You know? Look at this. And we used to look like this too, And most people might be like, why do we stand it like that? Because we used to be fish, remember? We sea creatures and everything like that. So sea beings, we swim like this through the cosmos because the cosmos is an ocean in itself, cosmic waters, that's what they call it, or the cosmic current, you know. Um, but that's just a thing that I want to show you guys, because when you find out what the Nomos really are, you find out that they actually are half male and female, and it makes sense because when you listen to the history of the Nomos, they were two of them, not two of them. There were two groups away in a way that were perfect and imperfect, and that's some of our family members, guys. The imperfect ones are the evil beings that try to do what they try to do to this planet, and some of them are family members. Not all of them are. Some of them are just there because we kind of made them, like in like the Dracos. Yes, we made the Dracos. We made the Draco reptilians, man. They think they're the original dragons. They're not. We are. Hispanic people, so-called Afro-Hispanic people, and so-called black people are the original dragons. So this is what we are. You know, some of us look like this. This is what millions of years ago. And let me go back to this because most people want to talk probably more about it, think about it. Hey, you know, still want to debate with me, and that's fine. If you want to still talk about this, here's one thing: there's an Egyptian god that has the same horns as this, almost actually, but um, more to it too is that the reason this is just a logo. This is what it is. There's no. I will be. I wouldn't be surprised that there is a creature that looks like this. I wouldn't be surprised. But they put this in front of you to be scared. The first thing that you see, what do you think of? I remember when I was younger, the first thing every time I saw this, I first thing I thought of was fear, evil. But you got to step back, and you have to change your mind and be like, is it really what you think it is? Just because what they said it, and it's been in your face since you were a child. And is it going back to your religious doctrine that you've been born with? Instead of questioning, hey, maybe this stuff that I've been learning since I was a child is probably a fucking goddamn lie. Like, oh, I don't know, the shit that you learned from school is a lie. We used to be half male and female. And some of you guys know that because I've said this before. Some of us used to be half male and female. Here's the picture of it right here. And you have this fucking, what is this, orc right here? I don't know. Freaking having a male version of it instead of and look at the horns are different too. Like they totally fucked this shit up right here. You know, even if they wanted to like, even if this was like Satanist shit basically like that, because in real reality, if you understand ancient history and what it came from, all of this stuff, these evil beings stole it. That's how they are. They're not creative, guys. These evil beings are not creative. You think these evil beings can make a statue like looks like this? No. For crying out loud, man. They hire people like that. And it doesn't. The thing is, the other picture that I showed you has male and female, meaning you can't have one without the other. This one just shows male. You got to think about that too, man. You might be scared about these images, but that's one thing you need to keep in mind. One is half male and half female, balance. The other one is just male, not balance. This is a version of imperfect. This is what they're trying to tell you without telling you. This is an imperfect being. This is a perfect being, basically. Just like you see with the Nomms. They're a perfect being. This is what we're supposed to look like. This is what we're supposed to be. We don't have to look like this. It's our choice. It's always been our choice. Most likely, you know? But this is what we used to look like because my mama was like that, you know? For crying out loud, we can have sex, but we can also reproduce by ourselves. You know? It was a thing that you had to think of. And let me go back to the Egyptian god, Osiris right here. Osiris horns. And look right here. He actually has horns. He has horns. Some people might say that, oh, he was called a bull or a goat. This is a ram. It's a ram. He's a ram. And most people are like, that's a type of goat. Yes, I'm not saying it's not, but they call it a ram. And if you really look at these horns and these horns, they look almost identical. Is that just me? You can see it right here, people. So it makes you think. I just started thinking it in my head. You don't have to agree with me. You could totally disagree with me if you want. That's fine. It's just getting the gears going, you know? If you hate me just by pointing this out, it's just something to think of. I'm sorry to make you think, but you know, if you're you know, salty, but I doubt anyone that's watching this would be salty. They'd just be like intrigued because It's knowledge. Why? Because some of this stuff, look at these. Look, you mean to tell me you see these faces right here, and you mean to tell me that's not a brother or a sister? You know, that's a brother, but that's also a sister. That's what we wore, man. This is what we wore in ancient times. You know, the thing is, it's good to look at this stuff and see. This is one of them right here. We used to. This is what we fully look like right here. These are great pictures. Yeah, we didn't have the reason we look like that. We didn't have limbs. Eventually, we did have limbs because we genetically modified ourselves to have limbs and make sure we can actually move our joints and stuff. Yeah, we didn't move our joints. We were either like a T pose or like a this. Yep. Some people might laugh at that, might think it's stupid, but to be honest, it kind of makes sense if you're a fish or a serpent, mainly because you're, oh, I don't know, going through the fucking cosmic waters. So obviously you're gonna swim, you know. It makes sense because when you see this, you'd be like, wait a minute, nature does its thing by nature doesn't make a creature just because nature makes a creature because where it lives, the environment, the atmosphere, the temperature, you know, of course. And she made a being like this. But the thing is, a lot of people are like, well, okay, what about the imperfect ones? How do you become imperfect? Easy, by not staying in your mother's womb, and you got out of your mother's womb before you were born. None of us in this world, not even some of the evil beings, have done that. Why? Because it's in balance. They know that. Some evil beings understand the balance shit. Some of them don't give a fuck, but some of them do. I'm not giving them credit or anything because, again, they still evil beings. But they understand or overstand the balance, you know? And they know that they can't fuck that shit up. Other ones, they do. Like the ones here. They fuck the balance up here. You know? That's a good example. Because we're dealing with evil beings that will actually fuck up the balance here. You know? And the thing is, too, there's other evil beings that are way worse than these beings that we have in this planet. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Would you believe that? And the thing is, all of them are scared of us. Because we're the one. We're not called the God Planet for no reason. It's amazing. We really, really, truly think about it. In a speck of the universe, basically, if you just think of yourself, you literally are just tiny in a vast majority of a landscape of literally of a civilization of galaxies. And you don't know what's out of the way. You don't even know what's in your own Milky Way. And each Milky Way, even outside of the Milky Way, is cosmic waters. That's fucking crazy. And some of us have traveled farther than that. And I'm like, and some of the evil beings out here are not even from this galaxy. They're from other galaxies that have destroyed civilizations and moved on. And the reason they try to do it here and they are fucked is because they have messed with the gone beings. They have messed. They went to the God planet. They went to the planet that literally looks at all things around the universe with different dimensions. That's what they fucked themselves, man. They went to a planet that was rich in culture and had tons and tons of resources, and you decided to just take it just because you wanted to. It's sad to say, yes, we all have choices, but they make that choice, and now they had to lie on it and die. Just like they made false allegations about our history. Look, there's some Caucasian people, like for example, like Canadian, that might see different views of different things. But when it comes to colored people, I'm sorry. again, if you find out that your ancestors are color, then you're not in this conversation. Basically, congratulations, you're gonna make it. Basically, you know, because most people are like, oh, I'm white and shit, but you don't know if your ancestors are actually black because of the mixing and everything like that. But when that happens, you have a choice. I've said that before too. You have a choice. But I don't want to get too into it. But I've went deep into it already because I just have to get out of my chest right there. This is what these evil beings have done. They stuff like this. It, it tears me up and it makes me happy to know who we used to be and who we actually fucking are. And the thing is, look, I'm not saying worship this shit. I'm not saying none of this shit. I'm saying no or wake up to the fact. For crying out loud, people back then thought that this serpent right here was evil. It's cosmic. It's cosmic. What do you think it's? And the thing is, this whole thing right here, this whole thing that's on his head. You know what that is? That's a mushroom. They're telling you everything in a single picture. And then right here, I found this out. This is probably not true for at least for him, Osiris, but this right here is supposed to be a pair of scissors, supposedly. Meaning that yes, he was circumcised. Meaning all of our gods were circumcised. Basically. You know? Instead of not being circumcised and losing it when they have sex. You know? So that says something. You know? Um I don't again I don't know more detail of that. And again, it's probably not for him because I've seen it in other headpieces and that's what it means, but it probably just doesn't mean for him. But who knows? Maybe it does. Maybe it does. So there's that. So comment what you guys think down below. Comment, like, subscribe if you're new, and everything like that. And again, you guys might disagree, but the proof there's a lot of proof right here that actually shows that. Ooh, the thing is, here's one example too. You know the serpent in the garden? Guess who was that? Yes, it wasn't just us carbon dated people, but it was Osiris. Osiris was helping people to wake the fuck up. That's what the Adam and Eve story when the serpent tells Eve to eat the apple. When you look at the tree and you see the apple is a third eye, and the tree is your brain. Even as a kid, I always made fun of, the tree looks like a brain. There's a reason for that. Nature doesn't fuck around with that shit. Nature puts shit in your face for a reason. Nature talks. If you know how she talks and you know how to listen, you will find out amazing things. You will find out things that you think that'll just what you find in what sci-fi shit or like in superhero movies, but yet they're real. Why? Because they just is. It just is. Don't deny that you live in a world that you literally can throw fire out of your hands. It's funny, people want that, but once you tell them that can happen, they laugh at it. And I'm like, they don't say you want to live in a world that you want to be like that in, dude. They don't say that. Because you will find out the truth that, hey, guess what? We used to be like that. No batteries. What is it? No more space. So, anyways, that's it. I'll see you guys later.